On the last episode of my Vader 900 restoration series, I went to the junkyard and got a few goodies, most of which ended up not working out, but at least I got a set of nearly perfect taillights now. And while replacing the air intake filter, I found a pair of mice in the housing
That is cooked.
which is not uncommon. Thankfully, they were contained in the intake box and I didn't see any wires chewed up. On this episode, I'm hoping to get rid of a cold running engine issue and a few other maintenance items, so let's get started.
Welcome to the world's smallest garage. Alright, so, oh boy. Don't have much room, but the thermostat is located right there. So it shouldn't be all that hard to replace. Okay. Oh, that scared me. Once you start loosening the thermostat housing, it's gonna start leaking coolant. That's normal. For me, I have this unused carpet that I'm using as a tool, but you know, this is something to be wary of. No, this doesn't even look that old, and it's actually the same brand as the one I got, Motorrad. So maybe the thermostat wasn't the problem, but since I got it anyway, I'm gonna replace it. My new one doesn't have a bleeder valve hole thingy. Definitely not using this. Oh man.
And here we are with the original thermostat, which is something I should have gotten in the first place. So the one in the car was a 180-degree thermostat, and the new one is 192, so this should make my car not run so cold. And it has the bleeder valve there, so I'm gonna put this in and see what happens. Oh well, Motorrad is actually the OEM supplier. I have concerns about the previous person who did this having to put gasket maker on the thermostat housing. Maybe it was leaking. I mean, it probably was leaking. Hopefully it doesn't leak for me. Alright, so that's about as clean as I can get it. So now it's time to put the new thermostat on. What the heck? Alright, so I found the culprit of why my car is not starting. It's because when I was moving this hose, the thermostat hose, that's the housing, this is the hose, this whole thing harness came apart. And you can see that it was already kind of on its last legs because the previous person who messed around has electrical tape here and some of that gooey stuff. And if you look closer, you can definitely see that wire, the black wire, that's not supposed to be going to nothing. It's supposed to be going into that hole and touching the black wire. So I think that's my problem, because that's clearly the distributor cap and the whole ignition system. So I somehow created a bigger problem than the thermostat. After struggling to reconnect the black wire and realizing it was basically impossible to do while the distributor was still on the car, I decided to pull the whole thing out to see if I could get better access without tearing into too much else. It wasn't easy, but after a few YouTube tutorials and some trial and error, I managed to get in there and solder the wire. Bruh. Only to discover that there just isn't enough length left on the connector side to make this work. At that point, I had a few options. One was to buy a repair kit. Another, as someone in the Facebook group helpfully pointed out, was to grab a new Hall effect sensor made for a Volkswagen, Dremel the metal casing to make it fit. But I figured this is a pretty important part of the car and I want to start things off on the right foot. So I splurged and ordered a remanufactured distributor. Was it the most cost-effective solution? Definitely not, but I like to think of it as a welcome gift for this car. And here we are a few weeks later, back in business. This is my brand new distributor unit from R&D Car Parts. Yeah, it's got the same exact part number. This is a rebuilt unit, so everything is supposed to be pretty good. This is like the most expensive part I've ever purchased for a car, except I guess the wrap on my 9.5. But like I said, I wanted to splurge because it's kind of like a gift for this car. For putting the distributor back on, you can only put it in one way. If you look at the hole on the distributor and inside the engine, you can see that the two edges are slightly off center. So you just have to line that up and put it in. Every time you remove the distributor, you do need to retime the engine. Well, this is prior to timing it, and so far it's running fine, but I still want to time it. So far so good on the new distributor. Even though the car was running fine, I noticed it would occasionally dip a few ticks in the RPMs. It's not a huge deal, but enough to make me curious. I've never timed an engine before, so I saw this as the perfect chance to learn something new. Armed with the $20 timing light, I checked the mark on the flywheel. It was sitting at around 20 degrees before top dead center when it should be at 16. So I loosened the bracket on the distributor and gently rotated it until the mark lined up right at 16 degrees. Now showing this on camera is tough. Between the flickering timing light and the tight angles, it's hard to see, but honestly it's way less intimidating than it sounds. If you've never done this before, just grab a timing light, click the ignition sensor to the number 1 spark plug wire, aim the light at the flywheel, and carefully rotate the distributor. Suddenly all those forum posts and how-to guides just click into place. So don't be afraid, you'll be glad you did it. Since the car put a big smile on my face by running so well now, I figured it deserved a little love in return. So I gave the engine bay a much needed deep clean. I grabbed my go-to degreaser Super Clean, and it made quick work of all that caked on grime. I also recruited a couple of mini assistants to help with the dirty work. It also passed the smog test with flying colors, so I went ahead and got it registered under my name, which means that the Vader 900 is officially mine, on paper and on the road. Now that it's looking fresh under the hood and running great, it's time to upgrade the brakes. I went with a set of drilled and slotted rotors and pads from R1 Concepts, who is the sponsor of this episode. I've been using R1 Concepts for a while now, and honestly I've got nothing but good things to say. They've got a solid lineup of rotors and pad types, plus all the hardware you need, and the best part is that they're made right here in California. If you're looking to upgrade your brakes, whether it's for a classic 900 like mine, or something more modern, you can find R1 Concepts on Rock Auto, Amazon, and a few other spots. So another round of Vader 900 restoration is complete. What started as a thermostat job quickly turned into a rabbit hole of wires, but in exchange I learned how the distributor works and how to time an engine, which I didn't know how to do before, so I think that was a good trade-off. Now the distributor did a pretty big number on my budget, but thanks to R1 Concepts, I think I made a big chunk of the money back in brakes, so a huge shout out to R1 Concepts for supporting this project. If you're in need for some good quality brake rotors, pads, or hardware, I'll have a link in the description below for R1 Concepts. For drivability, I think the Vader 900 is at a pretty good spot. It's got pretty much brand new Pirelli P4s all the way around, all new brakes all the way around. The engine is running pretty smooth and the engine temperature is all good. And I snuck an oil change off camera, but I did find a few things wrong with the car, such as the bushings, and I know that all the vacuum lines and the hoses need to be replaced. I even found one of the axle boots that was leaking. So those are all things that I'll need to replace eventually. But for right now, I think I'll turn my attention to this beat up interior. So I'll be doing some homework on how to bring some of these things back to life. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one.